It's always about me, all right? We just always
run a competition.
I just gotta always bring it back to me. It's music to my ears when the producer says, "Time to fill, Vanessa." Back to me again, obviously. No.
Hello everyone, this is episode 2 of season 3 of Running Loose, and we may look a little bit different and we may have a slightly different background, but essentially we are still at York Racecourse. It's still the eve of the Ebor Festival, and we have changed our outfits for this second episode in the series.
I'm still Vanessa Ryle.
That's good news.
You're still Francesca Cumani, so that's good. I've still got a tan. Nothing much has changed really from when you last saw us, unfortunately.
So in this episode, we can't hugely reflect on racing that's happened and look forward because we haven't, it's going to be a little bit time.
Because it's 30 minutes
it
after
hasn't
the last.
happened. Exactly. So what we quite like to do, especially when we record 2 episodes at the same time, is kind of have more time for listener questions.
We've got loads of listener
debate
questions.
a few topics. You're going to tell us a nice story.
Can I just point out with listener questions as well, do always get involved. We get quite a few responses now, and we love the audience engagement, and I log into the Instagram account along with our producer as well, so I see them all. Jessica doesn't because she's like
worked out
illiterate.
how to add an account to my
She can
Instagram.
barely work her own Instagram account, let alone a secondary one. But no, we do go through all the questions and all the comments as well, so we love it. So I'm just saying we appreciate you and do get involved. But yeah.
And you can see in the background here at York Racecourse the lovely parade ring.
Yeah.
What were you about to say?
Well, no, just that the engagement helps with the content, and then that leads on to what we're about to discuss.
Questions, exactly.
Yeah.
Because people often ask us questions about what it's like to present at the racecourse. What are the best bits? What are the worst bits? How's it different with what you do and what I do?
Yeah, and what I was asked just the other day, it wasn't actually on an Instagram question, but what I was asking in real life is someone was like, you have that earpiece in the whole time, and what is going on in there? And actually, this is a perfect opportunity to explain, because that is your pres position.
Yep.
So that's a pres position, presentation position, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Francesca, as we've discussed before, is a main presenter, whereas I'm more of a reporter, sort of out and about type vibe. But essentially the way the TV aspect works is pretty much still the same. We have an earpiece in that's connected to a radio. And that means that the people back at base camp, whether it's the gallery or in the truck for you, so gallery back at Sky for me, or the truck,
which are literally parked up on the hill.
They look like massive horse boxes, don't they, essentially?
Yeah.
And that's where your producer, director, whole team are.
BT team.
Yeah, whereas my team are back in the main gallery in Sky Sports Studios.
Do you have a delay in your ear? Because it's...
No.
Okay.
No. 2025, tech works.
Okay.
But yeah, you would have a producer telling you what to do, right?
So essentially we kind of start at the beginning of the day. We all arrive, often have hair and makeup on the course, and then maybe put your dress on if you haven't already. Then the sound guys who are actually here preparing come and like mic you up. So they'll put your, like you say, radio mic on and put your ear thing in. That's what you hear through, funnily enough. And then you get your microphone, and then often we'll have pre-records. So you'll have a list going out saying, okay, Francesca and Ed need to be, say, on the track at 10:30 to record an opener. Sometimes you have a network promo, which is always fun when they say, okay, 20 seconds, promote the day, and you can actually hear the count in your ear, and they're like, 20, 10, 9, 8, and then you've got to hit the count, which is always one of the hardest things.
That would be, so I never have to hit a count. So like main presenters have to hit the count, whether it's crashing into an ad or, hard stop basically.
Or end the show.
I never have to do that. So I couldn't, it'd be terrible.
That's a learned skill.
Yeah.
Once you learn it, it's okay. So we'd do that, and then we might have some kind of pre-recorded interviews, or some of the other people. You have a whole sheet saying who's got to do what, at what time before the show. And then sometimes you have a little bit of a lull, everyone goes and has some lunch, final preparation.
And can I just point out that pre-recorded stuff, because the odd time I have to do pre-recorded stuff, you can get yourself in such a muddle. I'm so much better when it's live.
Yeah.
So if you said to me now, we need to pre-record a piece of the camera, it would take me probably 8 takes to get it right. Whereas if somebody said to me in my ear, you're live, do that intro, you just do it. It's so weird. It's such a weird mental thing, that.
Definitely. And then, so we'll convene at our presentation position just down here, say about 20 minutes before we go on air. And that's when the director often starts talking to you. They're like, okay, do you want to see any bits before we go on air?
A producer and director, what's that?
So someone explained this to me really well once, because even I was quite unsure. So if you picture an orchestra.
Yeah.
So we're the players, so us presenters and pundits and everyone other players, reporters, etc.
Yeah.
The producer is the composer. So they write the music essentially, or the script, or the plan of the day. So they're the ones that had to know like when the ad breaks come, or what time they've got to hit them, what time the races are happening, what time the horse is going to be in the paddock to talk about, who's going to be interviewed, etc., etc. So they kind of write the plan of the day. And then the director is the conductor. So he's the one that kind of like waves the wand and is like, okay, let's go to that shot of that, and let's get to that interview there. And, you know, like, how long's that interview? Okay, we can piece it in here before the horses jump because they're due off in 5 minutes. That's a 2-minute interview. So they really kind of pull it together on the day. See, it's very different. And when I started working in Australia, never heard from the director. Didn't even know what the director did, who it was. Never heard from the director. Only had closed talkback, or no, keyed talkback from the producer. So I heard very little. It was more like, okay, just wrap up here.
But that's like me.
Is that what you
Yeah, so I would only have, Jessica has all of that in her ear, whereas I just have what we, like you say, a keyed producer. So I have sort of relative silence, and then the producer will literally press a button to talk to me and say, Vanessa, we're coming to you in 30. And then we'll press a button and say, you know, go, obviously, and then wrap up. Yeah, so what's interesting there is I only hear from a key producer. So I do hear my director sometimes, but it's mainly key producer, and they'll just, you know, give me a 30-second warning when they're coming to me, wrap up, you know, the usual thing. But I don't have what you have in terms of the director would be saying, we're playing the super slow-mo, we're cutting to the head-on, you know, the different shots.
When I suddenly came to start with ITV and I got all that information in my ear, I was like, whoa, this is a real overload, because I hadn't been used to it. And now that I am quite used to it, when I go back to Australia, and they're going, why is it so quiet in my ear? Why is someone kind of telling me what's happening? And you learn to kind of get different levels of information and take out of it what you need. Also, like when I'm walking around the parade ring here, for example, there's loads of stuff going on in my ear. So the producer might go, if it's live, will go, okay, well, after this horse, cut to Matt, who's got an interview, or go to Matt, who's got an interview. And then I'll still be talking. They'll go, oh, no interview, keep going. And so you're literally talking at the same time as ingesting this information.
That does happen to me occasionally, but way less, if you see what I mean. Like they might have said to me, you've got a 3-minute paddock piece here, and then throw to a break. And then I might be talking, it'll be silent, then I might be talking, and they might just say, sorry, not to a break, to the studio.
Yeah.
But they keep it, it's much less chaotic than what you guys have.
Yeah.
But we have, you know, my broadcast is much more simplified broadcast. So you've got so much more going on with so many more different moving parts. Whereas I'm quite like, once they're out to me at Wolverhampton, they're just with me at Wolverhampton. So it's pretty straightforward in that regard, generally.
Yeah. When you're like solo hosting, because often you'll get Ed and I doing it at the same time, but when you're solo hosting, that is like a mental marathon, because you've got to really plan the whole show. So you have your notes of to kind of where you're going to go and what you're going to say. But then they'll like keep throwing different things, and then you go to different race courses and come back, and then some story happens, and then they're like, oh, we'll update you on that. And so you're listening to information, putting out information, getting information from your guests and stuff, and always thinking ahead, and that is really tiring.
What about, I always wonder when you're like co-hosting, I mean, a bit like what we do here, and you try not to let one person dominate too much, or...
Yes.
Don't give me that bullshit look.
No, I wasn't actually thinking of you, funnily enough.
I just think it's like interesting, because I think it's easy if you're to let one person fall into one role as slightly like leading it or not leading it. I don't know, but you've got to try and get the balance right.
To actually both lead in a live situation. Because if you watch a kind of breakfast show, you've got two presenters of a breakfast show, say, it's all scripted, so it's all on your autocue. It's like,
for anyone who doesn't know, when you're watching like this morning, Dermot O'Leary and Kat Deely, they're hosting that, but it's all scripted, and they have their set segments and their set lines, and so
it's on autocue.
And it's on autocue.
So they're reading it.
I'd be terrible on autocue, by the way.
I quite like an autocue.
Yeah, but you're like Miss Perfect. I'm so dyslexic that so an autocue would be rolling there, and I'd literally
no, I think you get into it really. But then how lazy would it make you? Because everything you'll have to say is just there.
Yeah.
But no, for us, no autocue. You can kind of think a bit ahead about what you're going to say, but now we've done it for quite a number of years, that the whole beginning of the show, so before we get to a race, is kind of portioned up. So it's like Ed and I together, and then we throw to an opener piece, and then it might be a bit of him over pictures, and then me setting up the day, like this is today's races, non-runners, ground, etc. And then you go to ITV7 information. It changes a little bit, but essentially it's kind of a fairly standard start of the show. And then once you get into it, because I'm on and off the podium all the time looking at the horses, it kind of falls to Ed more to do the like hosting side of things. And also because I come from a different background, very much a kind of horsey background, I play pundit host pundit / host quite a lot of the time. So Jason and I will do more of the like pre-race chat. So we'll kind of throw it backwards and forwards to each other and post-race.
It is complicated though, isn't it?
Yeah, but people always say, don't they, back to your thing of the earpiece, they're like, are people feeding you information in your ear? I'm like, no. And then they go, can't you have people help you with your prep? Because I spend a lot of hours prepping. I'm like, no, because it's like studying for an exam. Unless you do it yourself, it doesn't really go in.
have a researcher today.
Yeah, so actually, do you remember Tanya Stevenson?
Yeah, she's so great. Love her. Yeah, she's great.
So she does that for us. And then on the day, she sends things through on text message. But I'm really bad at
So what she'd send through, like, that's the 4th time in 3 years. In 5 years, Charlie's won that or whatever.
Exactly. Little snippets of information.
Yeah. So it's all helpful, but you wouldn't necessarily.
It's all helpful, but I prefer it in the lead up. So she'll send us a kind of a stat pack thing on different races, and I write little interesting bits in my notes.
The thing is everybody does it differently as well. You know, like your broadcast with ITV, as you said, is different to Australia, and it'll be different to another channel, and what I'm doing at Sky is very different. But essentially the premise is the same. You've just kind of got to be able to withstand, you know, the information in your ear. And people get fried by that when you start telling them about it. But actually you get used to it quite quickly.
Yeah, and what I've had to learn, which I'm not naturally very good at, which you are naturally quite good at, is a lot of the time it's like you need to just kind of talk, and it's like, well, say something. And like with me, I'm always like, but I don't know what to say, because I have to kind of be really interesting or fill it with something kind of really key.
Whereas I just, like, you know, just talk. I just talk.
I have to really learn. Like sometimes if you're waiting for a direction of like where you're going to go, it's like, okay, just fill for the next 30 seconds.
I love filling.
Of course you do.
When I'm filling, when they say to me, like, we've got a 2-minute delay here, they're down at the start, and they'll say in your ear, you'll be talking, they'll say in your ear, you've got 2 minutes delay here, down at the start, do you want to throw back to studio? And I'm just like, no. I want all the airtime. And so literally...
What do you talk about?
I'm very like, say it as you see it. So I do my form study. So I've got my form stuff.
Yeah.
But if in that instance I'm filling, I just start talking about what I'm seeing. So I'm looking at the screen, they're behind the stalls. And, you know, one might be like sweating loads, and I just start talking about why that is. And then I might be like, well, he's not very fractious. It's like, I don't know. You just start... just chatting, shooting the breeze.
Vanessa Phil. Yeah.
I love that. It's music to my ears when the producer says, "Time to fill, Vanessa." Result.
My worst bit is when they're like, "Oh, it's a link to break, and we've got a shot of a kid eating an ice cream and a horse being washed down and da da da." And I'm like, I don't know what to say, because I'm like, well, there's a kid eating an ice cream and so but I don't want to say that. I'm like, let's think of something interesting to say, because people can see that that's happening at home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I overthinking it?
You are, yeah. I'd be like, oh, it's all the fun of the fair. Come back after the break.
Stock standard phrases. I'm like,
that is a bit standard, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'd be the one that I also would like say something in the moment that could definitely be a bit of an innuendo, or like, you know, as in unintentionally, but I just sort of words fall out of my mouth a lot of the time.
The worst one is actually with the horse that's run here a few times this season, a horse called Old Cock. You can't help but make an innuendo about Old Cock.
I mean, like, and it's just, you just got to lean into it. It's just natural to lean into that. But anyway, that is the joy of television. We've still got the setup sounds, by the way, the setup sounds behind us.
Yep, trolleys being wheeled along.
We are thrilled to have Old Gold Racing sponsoring Season 3 of Running Loose.
They're one of the UK's leading racehorse syndicates, making ownership fun and affordable, with shares starting from just £60.
As an owner, you'll get weekly updates on your horse, the chance to win owner's badges on race days, and invitation to stable visits.
Old Gold have horses all over the UK, and now in Ireland too, with none other than Henry de Bromhead.
Head over to allgoldracing.com to find out more, and as a special offer for Running Loose listeners, use the code RL15 for 15% off your first share.
Plus, anyone who redeems the discount will automatically go into a draw to win a magnificent bundle of 10 horse shares, and that's a brilliant way to get stuck in. One of the other things that hit our questions, by the way, quite a few times, was all things... back to me again, obviously. No, Lucinda Lloyd, who's a friend of mine. Yeah. She sent in a question asking if I was going to intend to ride in a point-to-point or a race anytime soon. And the answer I can confirm is 100% not, but I have been asked about 20 times because, of course, I got the horse out of Paul Nichols's.
Yeah.
And then I started riding out in quite quick succession. Yeah. So I think people were like, we see the plan. And then the Magnolia Cup happened. Yeah. Loads of people were like, are you going to ride in that? And it's like, absolutely not. No intention of that.
Why not?
Dreadful. No. I'm actually not a very competitive person, and also just don't like pressure. Don't like any pressure.
Okay.
So no.
Okay, but how's the horse going?
The
Good?
horse
Are we
is
gearing
all
up for some
right.
teen
The horse
chases?
is fine. We're very steady with him, as in he's literally just hacking walk and trot because I don't want to get him too fit for like autumn cubbing and that sort of side of things.
Okay.
And I don't want to team chase him until the spring.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine wants to ride him in the Bicester Hunt members race.
Oh.
It's going to be like the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Oh, right.
I mean, basically, if this horse got there even 80% fit, I'd say he'd be a sort of 1 to 20 shot in that
right.
sort. It's the Bicester Hunt members race,
Mm-hmm.
but
When is that?
it'll be in April time.
Okay.
And
That's
Bicester
good.
is
They'll
my
time in
local
quite
home.
well because he'll be getting fitter.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have had a bit of hunting, he'll be fitter, and we'll do a bit with him. And if we can get him there, I want my friend to ride him in it. Just because, like, we go anyway on the social and on the crack, and we have a big picnic, and it's always quite a piss up, to be honest with
Has
you.
she done? She done?
No, but her granny rode in, I think like maybe 50 points and won a whole load of them as well. And so it's sort of in her family, her brothers have ridden in point. So it's kind of like really in her.
I'd love to do one of those hunt races, but I need a good horse.
Do you want the captain?
I
I'm
might,
just like
actually.
renting out the
I
captain
might.
left, right and
I
centre.
might. Yeah. I need to get
But
fitter.
no, he's a sweet horse. Actually, a friend of mine, we deviate here, but whatever. A friend of mine came to ride him the other day and she hasn't ridden in 20 years. And I told her she was better off on like the ex-race horse than my Bob the Cob.
Yeah.
And she was really nervous. She checked her life insurance before she went out. We were going for a hack, literally just around the countryside. Anyway, I looked over at her. She's sort of tacking him up, like literally like that Dawn French. She's like literally just like pulling the bridle onto him. She's like, okay. And then she like pulls him around to the mountain block, like clambers aboard him, gets on and is like just holding on for dear life. And he's such a doe. He just literally was like, oh God, okay. And
Well, often the ex-race horses are
honestly,
way more killed than
loads of people have
others,
asked me
aren't
how I'm getting on. For anyone who missed this story, Paul Nicholls retired Cap de Martin, a sort of 140 rated horse. So quite good. Went around the Fox Hunters at Aintree and stuff with his daughter on. And I was he's retired to me basically. And yeah, I'm aware I've got really lucky and he did tell me that I was getting a really, a good one, but he is saint-like.
Dreamboat.
Just saint-like. It's like he's been everywhere before. It's like he's done it all before.
So nice.
It's just amazing. Yeah. So hopefully we can keep him sound, keep him happy, and a bit of team chasing. That's always been the aim. And then I've been doing the riding out.
Yes.
Still going well.
Okay, still going?
Yeah,
This mornings or what?
So I had a week off to Portugal, and then I've got a week off because I'm up here in Yorkshire for a while. So I'll be back next week. So 2 weeks off. I'm going to do a video for my social medias, but I'll tag Running Loose as well about like a morning riding out in a yard like Stuart Edmonds. Because the thing is I think I said before that I've chosen to go to Stuart's because I'm learning how to do it a bit more properly than just getting on and holding on type of thing. And what I've realized is the feedback's been that, a lot of people feel intimidated by the idea of riding out like I did and scared about how you get on and what it feels like and doing it wrong.
I'm riding a racehorse.
I'm riding a racehorse, yeah.
They're different beasts.
And so now I'm on a bit of a mission to encourage more people to get involved because it's really not as intimidating as you think it is. And actually rather sweetly off the back of this show, the British Racing School emailed Stuart because some of the pupils there wanted to come to Stuart's because they were like, it sounds
they've been listening to the show.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How sweet is that?
And has he had some people come?
Well, he doesn't have any space for them.
Oh,
because
that's unusual.
No, but he's a small, but he's a small yard, not a big yard. And obviously just going into the season now, it's a small yard and he's got quite a lot of full-time girls in there already.
But I feel like there's something we could do here because trainers are always looking for people to come and ride, staff. There are young people coming into the industry that are coming through the racing school that want a nice placement somewhere to start.
Yeah.
So can we kind of help marry people up a bit? Like,
We
I
should
feel
be
like
able
trainers
to.
should get in touch and say, hey, look, I've got some placements. This is how I look after younger people and help train them and bring them along.
Definitely.
And then we can kind of link people up. So get in touch if that's something that sounds like
Yeah,
it appears.
get in
And also
touch.
people wanting to find somewhere to go and ride, get in touch and we'll kind of try and
we can make the
facilitate
effort, And it might grow legs. Maybe I'll come and ride out with them somewhere different.
Oh, we'll get the star of the Running Race podcast coming right
It's always about me, all right? We just always
run a competition.
We just gotta always bring it back to me, okay?
In my riding days, I used to run,
well, actually, sorry, and also to go back to taking the piss out of me, I actually have not improved at all. I've been doing it obviously about a month. No, the first day I looked like a policeman, and the last time I rode out, I still looked like a policeman. So Not going that well. But anyway, it's all good
Rome
fun.
wasn't built in a day.
No, exactly. And it's
Okay.
all good fun. The other thing talking about horses, and we didn't talk about it on the last show, even though we did a bit of catch up, is I just had my horse's memorial.
Which one?
It's called Mulberry's Error. He was
So
really
not
famous.
either of the ones that people have become familiar with. Not Bob the Cob or
No,
Captain
sorry,
Lafayette,
no,
luckily.
no,
Okay, so
no. No, luckily,
a
neither of
previous
those two.
horse.
Yeah. No, it's just quite sweet. There was a big double pace bred and horse and hound. I'll send you the photo this week, actually. We had a very good event horse, which is actually Bob the Cob's older brother. That's how I ended up with Bob the Cob.
Okay.
And he was called Mulberry's Error, and he was really famous.
Weaving.
Me and my mum.
Okay.
He was bought as my pony club horse. I actually took him to pony club camp, which is a well-known story because he's quite famous in the eventing world, but not outside, obviously. But I took him to pony club camp as a 5-year-old. And because I was such a rebel at pony club camp, we were at Somerford Park, I'll never forget it. And someone dared me to take him into like the tack room and the feed room. But obviously, it wasn't a stable door. It's like a normal sized door.
Oh.
And he's a big lad. And I took him in, but he got a bit scared and he like skinned his hip on the way in.
Oh.
And then I had to get him back out again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And I know.
Is he all right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Traumatized.
He's
by
absolutely
going through
fine.
narrow spaces.
Sorry, yeah, I am kind to my horses, but he is fine. But I just remember that, and I look back now. He jumped double clear around Badminton, Burley.
So,
like-
how did you get from being your pony club pony
So
age 5 to that?
we like hunted and did pony club with him, and then my mum started riding him, started eventing him. He got up to like novice level with my mum. We were having lessons with Ben Hobday. Ben then took over the ride, even though my mum didn't really want to give it up. But my mum was like 60 something at the time, and so it was like, probably should. And so then Ben took him over, and we never got him back.
So Ben's a professional eventer.
Yeah.
And took him all the way up to the top league.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though everyone said he couldn't. And every time Ben used to ride really smart horses and then got on Mulberry, and everyone used to laugh at him.
Was he small, or was he
Small
just a big
and
kind
cobby.
of cobby?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
a
wow.
Clydesdale Cross Thoroughbred, so he's the same as Bob the Cob. And he was just a dude of a horse. And just everyone loved him. And do you know what's really funny is in the moment when we were on that journey with him, and he was really famous. Like I remember walking around Badminton, people were just like, I can have a selfie with Mulberry. Like he was really famous. But in the moment, you don't really realise it.
Yeah.
And then obviously he retired, and then he's been with Ben ever since. And he died at the age of 23 quite suddenly, as in, he's a good stint, but as in, there was no illness, thank God. Just died of colic, unfortunately. And, he,
Did
the
you get him back?
outpouring.
Oh, so you
No,
didn't get him
but
back
Ben
after-
just kept him
Oh,
forever.
okay.
Yeah.
No, you didn't get a nice hunter to come
No,
back
but Ben adored him, and he kind of became Ben's horse. Ben was very poorly, and he helped Ben get through his cancer treatment.
Oh, no.
And then, everyone said Ben shouldn't do badminton that year because he was off the back of doing the chemotherapy, and he still was looked like he was like he was just off the back of it. And my mum didn't think that he'd ever do it, but kept saying to him that he could.
On Mulberry?
Yeah, because he was like,
So
need something to get up and do. And then we got to badminton, and mum was still like, I remember mum being in the lorry being like, well, if he just does the dressage test, we'll just, withdraw before the cross country or whatever. And he went round the cross country and like Claire Balding did this amazing interview, and it was all over the internet. It was a really big thing. Yeah.
And so you had a memorial for him.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Had a memorial. It was very
Aw,
emotional. Yeah. I
was
went
it?
to the pub, raised the glass, had loads of photos of him, loads of people came. It was sweet.
Oh.
Yeah, it was cute. But a bit like, you have Purple Moon in your life.
Yeah.
And it's, you have one horse every so often that they're just more than just a horse.
Yeah.
And he was great.
Yeah.
He was really great.
Oh, that's
So yeah,
such a nice
that was
story.
cute. So that was what
Nice
I've been
story.
up to actually, but I just forgot to mention that. So yeah.
And actually back to the racing school and Stuart Edmonds
yes.
and younger people getting involved
Oh
in
yeah,
the industry.
sorry. Yeah.
I saw some really cool footage actually on Instagram, and then my mum sent me some videos also of the Christophe Simeon's pony academy.
Oh, well, I totally missed this, but you were saying,
Well,
yeah.
So it's been a few years in formulation, but this is when I actually saw it kind of take effect. They were on the beach at Deauville, galloping along,
glorious.
like 20 of them or more. Load of kids
Kids on ponies.
on
there.
ponies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like racing ponies. Or
Well, they seemed quite racy, but I think they were ponies.
yeah.
But you had loads of people in the racing industry's kids there, so you kind of paid to be on the course. They had these camps, I think one in the spring and one in the summer. This one was at Deauville, and the kids just get to experience all different sides of kind of pony clubby style, but a bit more with a view to racing.
Yeah.
So there they are, kind of going upsides on the beach in Deauville.
So
Neil
cool.
Callan, I think his younger son was there, and then my mum says the real star apparently was the son of Frankie Dettori's driver, known as Aka. I actually don't know his real name,
Oh,
but Aka's
really?
son is like the real star. And I think it's really fun for the kids because there's no messing. There's no kind of pussyfooting around.
Oh,
It's like, right,
really?
get on, you know, deal with the ponies. They might not be the easiest
Wow.
to deal with, but so great of Christoph Simeon, who's still very much an active rider, but he said, having grown up in a scenario where his family couldn't afford horses or didn't have the space for the ponies, etc., he really wanted to be able to give the kids coming up through the ranks now that experience.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of very much set it up of his own back, and he's created this whole year-round thing, but then they have these camps as well, but just wants to give something back to the industry. And he's seen it like in tennis camps for young tennis academies. For
like Nadal's one, Djokovic's
exactly.
one.
I think he said one of his kids actually did one of those camps and came back like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And actually, if you think about it, for a kid now, being able to ride out with Christoph Simeon on the beach in Dover, how would that not get people hooked in the industry?
That's cool. Good on him.
Yeah,
I like stuff
really
like
good on
that.
him.
Yeah.
And just giving back and giving his time.
And it
giving
takes
so
a
much
bit. That
enthusiasm.
takes a bit as well.
And his wife is very much involved.
Maybe we
as well.
should do the same in terms of broadcasting. Let's just give back. You know, let's just welcome kids in, teach them how to be like me.
After the last episode,
Teach them to be like me.
Everything possible to avoid being around children on holiday. I'm not sure that one's really
Also,
gonna work.
am I like the role model that parents would want their kids? You probably are. You probably are.
Well, I have got 3 of my own. So
Somebody was talking to me about you recently, and what did they say about you? Oh, I can't remember now, and it was so sweet, and I remember thinking, oh, wouldn't it be?
She just conveniently erased it from her mind.
Well,
Something nice that I borrowed.
No, quite. No, somebody said to me, oh, Cheska is like, you know, she doesn't have a bad bone in her body.
And you were like,
and I was thinking to myself, I'd say her collarbone's fucked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd say there's a bad bone in there somewhere, but we just don't know about it yet on the show. But there is a bad bone. Whereas I'm like riddled with bad bones. Do you know what I mean?
That's so not true.
Do you not think?
Was that all they said? Was there something?
Yeah,
else?
sorry, that was it.
Oh, that was it.
But I just thought it was a nice way to be described, not a bad bone in your body.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
But they're wrong. Anyway.
Right, we're going to get on to questions in a minute. Vanessa's just got them up on her phone. But before that, we need the second instalment of All Riled Up. Oh, wait. I need a timer.
God damn it.
Ready? I'm really just not
good with the
prepared,
timer,
am I?
are you?
Ready?
Yeah.
You just said I'm a techno. So, ready? Go.
Okay, so this week's All Riled Up is Holly Doyle being sacked from her retained rider job in replacement for Asheen Murphy. And the reason that's annoyed me is because I just want women to have the opportunities that they deserve. And she's had that with this owner, but now it's been taken away from her. And she's done nothing wrong. And she keeps delivering all the time on a Group 1 stage when she's got the right horse, but she just needs to be in a position where she gets the right horses. And now the good owner breeder has taken that away from her.
Why does that surprise me?
I don't feel like I do that very well. I don't feel like I do that very well, but I think people understand what I mean.
And you'll get better.
Okay, well, there we go.
No, that was good. And probably just to add to that, the fact that she's been replaced by Asheen Murphy, but as his third retainer.
So he's
already got Qatar Racing, he's got Prince Faisal, and then he's got that. So when he's not riding for them,
he might ride for them.
He might ride for them, or maybe Andrew Balding somewhere else. And it's like, do you really need to get rid of a very, very good jockey in favour of being...
Right. That's your 30 seconds up as well.
Stop, why are you timing me again?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I don't know, look, I'm a big Holly fan, and I love that she had that, you know, it wasn't a massive retainer. That's the thing, is that there's not loads of horses there, but the ones, you know, it gave her an opportunity to be on something quite good and well bred. And
I never feel like she did anything.
No, I don't really feel, and I don't think anybody's saying she did anything wrong either, but that's why it's even, you know, and people will say, well, you're a hypocrite, Vanessa, because you always say that owners are allowed to do what they want, which they are. But just as a wider topic, it just frustrates me because, you know, females in the sport need the support.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Right, questions?
Okay, questions. You ready?
No.
You haven't prepared yourself. We all know by now that Francesca hates an unprepared question time.
Hit me.
Diane Hanrahan has asked favourite national hunt, I presume course in Ireland. I would probably say Leopardstown. Just love it there. I mean, flat and national hunt. It's a great track, very fair. The national hunt track there, when you watch Galopin de Champs spin round there and put in some mega performances, that is like spine-tingling stuff for national hunt fans. And when he won in February at the Dublin Racing Festival, it was just like a real I was there moment. It was so cool. So I love it there. It's a great viewing spot as well. You can watch the whole track. It's just fab.
It's not sure I've been to a national hunt course in Ireland. Thanks for answering that one. I'm irrelevant. on that
Oh,
question.
favourite racecourse star from Ed Black. I couldn't really, there's loads of great racecourse staff. Wolverhampton, the lads there, they love me there. Colin in the weighing room. Yeah, just
Podcast
really.
fans?
Not really. I don't think this show would be really up their street.
Okay.
But the lads in Newcastle, their sound. There's just some of those tracks have, you see the same people, like the Arc sort of all-weather tracks where there's loads of racing. They're obviously all, I don't even know how it would work actually, but you see the same people on the same gates. Newcastle and Wolverhampton, their staff there, top class, to me personally.
It's really nice when you get the same familiar faces, isn't it? Especially if you ever forget your pass and then like, no, you can't come in. And you're like, oh, please, I've got a pre-record in 10 minutes. They're actually a lovely couple who are often on that gate down there on the edge of the parade ring. Yeah, here at York. Although recently, I think he had an operation, so he wasn't able to do it, but they come into the parade ring and come say hi to us. And yeah, their familiarity of seeing the same people is
Ascot's
is
the same. Love that. Lads on the gates at Ascot. We've got some chatting from the staff here. They want in on the staff action.
Yeah,
they do. Non-racing questions, a couple of them we'll just whack through. From Wendy, if anyone could cook a meal for you, who would you like it to be and what would they cook?
Do you know what? I'm actually so lucky. My husband is just the most brilliant
Cooks?
Yeah. Last night he was like, I'll just whip up a pasta, and he made the most delicious penne with a tomato sauce with chili and cream and basil and like little bits of lardons and fresh tomatoes in there. And he kindly came and delivered it at my desk while I was doing my prep for tomorrow's racing. And I was like, oh my God, that is
so why you married him.
Fair cop. He's very good.
Very
good.
I better say my brother, because he's a chef. He's a very good chef. Does some pretty good, cool stuff. And he's class. And you know what? I wouldn't even give him any specifics. And on top of that, I'm actually going to...
Where's he based?
He lives in Skipton.
That's quite near, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does he do restaurants or does he do...
he was in a restaurant. He was a head chef in a restaurant. He wrote a book and now he works for Swaledale Butchers. So he does all their recipe planning for their meat boxes and all their Instagram content. It's actually a great Instagram account if you're a foodie. Got quite a lot of followers already. And he fronts all their content.
Swaledale.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We might tag them. And you'll see my brother. He doesn't look anything like me and he's more of a natural on camera than me, but don't tell him I said that.
And you're not more of a natural chef than him.
No, definitely not. But I'd let him cook and I'd let him cook anything he wanted because I've literally never had a bad meal by him. Literally never.
That is great.
Yeah, he's class. So there you go. We should probably wrap up because I'm actually going home because he's cooking dinner.
Well, on that note, what a beautiful segue. Yeah, I'm starving, actually. It's kind of mid-afternoon.
It's done.
We're nearly ready. And thanks for following along. Thank you all for the questions. I hope there are some interesting topics in there. Topics?
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully. And we will be back with episode 3 next time. No? What?
Why are we so bad at wrapping up?
I don't know.
That's it. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Ollie hates us.
Okay.